and welcome back to Berman Farmstead. Well, it's pretty exciting around here right now. I get to finally do something I've been looking forward to for quite a while now, since at least this spring when this corn first went in the ground. It's finally ready to take off. I've got the 3300 out and the corn head on. Jerome and I already went out last night and took the andros off on this side. We're going to go around, make one pass around the field. That way I can get around with the tractor and the picker without running corn down. All of the corn that we do take off, I'll go ahead, grind it up and feed it right to the cattle. So come along, we've got a lot of work to do. I'm only trying to take off what's absolutely necessary. That way I don't run much corn down with the tractor and the picker. Although I am only taking 2 rows off here, I've got plenty of width between this other fence and this corn. I'd rather end up with all this stuff in the crib rather than in the combine. Well, that was a quick little thing. We'll blow the combine off and we'll start getting everything ready to pick this corn. Ugh, dusty. Well, we got a little bit of the dirt and dust off of it. I'll pull that combine inside, and when we're done picking and I clean up the picker, I'll bring the combine back out and go through and thoroughly clean them both up. So I've got the grinder out and I'm starting to grind up the corn that we just shelled. That way I can clean up my 2 smaller wagons to pick into. So I took the picker to the field and tried it out, and it's been working quite well. I did have one small issue with it. I picked 2 wagons, and on both of these wagons, the corn is getting a little dry, the stalks. I was having issues with it plugging if I went just a little too fast and with the head too low in some of them drier, thicker, more highly yielding areas of the field. I went last night on some older forums and saw what some of the old timers were saying back in 2007 about pickers and that specific problem. A lot of them were suggesting to run the head up higher to take less of the stalk off, which I did do yesterday, and I have done in the past. This isn't my first time picking corn. I've been picking corn for at least 7 years. But in the past, whenever that did happen, I'd lift the head up higher and take less of the stalk in it, typically help, and run the ground speed slower and the RPMs up a little bit higher. And I did that, and it did work yesterday. But one comment that I hadn't seen before and an idea was to take a welder and put a little splatter on the snapping rolls. That way there's a little more grip to pull the stalks through. Figured, what does it hurt? So I'm going to take the welder, I'm going to put a little splatter on all the snapping rolls, go back out there, give it another shot, and see if it helps. If I can increase my ground speed a little bit and pick corn a little faster, that'd be all right, as long as I'm not overloading the husking bed. This is a 8-roll husking bed unit, not a 12-roll, so I am cautious about going too fast and overloading that bed. But we are going to put a little splatter on there to at least try to make sure that we're not plugging this up, because when it does plug, you do have to turn the tractor off and go in there to the front of this and actually pull the stalks out. So if I can avoid having to do that, it makes me happy, make this whole job a lot easier and even more enjoyable. These two rollers here are the snapping rolls. So we'll go ahead and we'll put a little splatter on them and the other for the other side and see if that helps. So as you can see, I put a fair amount of splatter on these rolls now and some really shitty looking welds. But I'm hoping that that just gives these rollers just a little extra grip. That way, in case it does want to start plugging up, it can hopefully rip through that bit of corn. And pull it down and remove it from the snapping rolls. Well, I've got those snapping rolls splattered up. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Maybe I can go a little faster. We'll see. But at least I did it. It really shouldn't hurt anything having it on there. So if it really doesn't help, I'm not really out anything. Don't forget to watch out for next week's video. We'll take this corn picker to the field. But hey, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We can do a lot here, but we can't grow this channel without your help. Thank you, and have a good day.